fantastic weekend of Formula One racing here on the EGL Extreme Gaming League. I'm Tipsy Bob, and joining me on the mic is my trusty sidekick and my good friend, Dad Bats. Covering all the action today, we're going to be covering everywhere from Monaco, Singapore, Abu Dhabi, and Bahrain, all across the world, all across the country. We have a full grid lined up, some of the best talent around the world. We have plucked them from all corners of the earth to give you some of the greatest racing experience footage you'll ever see in your lifetime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the EGL. There we go, one and all. The cars are all lining up on the grid. They're all getting ready. The drivers will be focusing on their first corner. Are they going to take it? What are they going to do? Is they going to go deep? Are they going to go? Who knows? Let's break down and away we go! DRS is still active, and if Timo wants to get this moved on, he's gonna need to use this DRS zone, because I have a feeling... Oh no, Timo comes under the pressure in the traction zone. I tried to mount up another overtake on 23 trademark. This is round 3.
And Timo are oh, it's not pit. Oh no! Oh my god, this so sorry, control myself. So Timo
I wouldn't be gonna penalty too, so they can stand at the back together again. Just like Timo likes it.
How many times? Did you see how many times Timo tried to get into the pit?
Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to 2 Israel Tier 2. We are here in round 10, I believe, in Austria. It is a wet qualifying. Everyone's driving on intermediates. So far Satoshi is the fastest with a 13.8. Jonah is in second position with a 14 flat, and Justin with a 14 flat as well in P3. I'm joined by Pixel today for the commentary.
Shalom, shalom.
Hello. So, what are you expecting for today? Gonna be any interesting events happening?
Well, I expect a lot of overtaking because basically half this track is DRS. I expect a lot of crashes because there are lots of high-speed, deep braking zones into very slow corners. So there should be a bit of carnage as well. We don't know what the weather is for the race, so there could be some weather. But I expect the usual suspects like Satoshi, Jonah, Justin, who are in the top 3 right now, to be kind of the pace setters and lead the queue.
Justin just did the fastest lap, and Formula Chris improves on that.
Yeah, Formula Chris is getting better all the time, so he has a shot as well, I think. He just needs a bit more consistency, I think. I think that's his main issue at the moment, but he is getting better all the time.
Yeah, he's been quite fast over the over the last weeks. General Pepe goes to P1 with 13.4, just a little bit faster than Formula Chris.
Yeah, General Pepe is pretty new to the league, but his pace so far has actually been quite decent. I think it's fair to say. So
Yeah, absolutely. Can already see
if-
that he's quite strong in the rain here.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly close qualifying right now, considering it's wet. Usually you get big gaps in the wet. I suppose maybe less so now, with the benefit of the fact that this is an assist tier. Kind of helps bring people closer together because you have the assist to help you out. But still, though, quite surprising.
Oh. Steam overlay doing its thing, thank you very much. So, let's see, I think that's Kebab that's about to finish a lap. It was invalidated, so he's gonna have to try again. Kebab is a tier 3 driver who's joined us today. So, let's see what his pace can be in his wet quality. His first lap wasn't that great at 16.7, but I'm pretty sure that he will improve on that one. He's already 2/10 up in the first sector, so definitely more to come from him.
Yeah, I think Kebab shows flashes of actually pretty reasonable speed. He just really struggles with consistency. I don't know how much he practices, but the more you practice, the more consistency you'll get. So maybe it's just a question of getting more laps on the board.
Yeah.
And General Pepe has improved to a 12.7. Jonah's on a 13.001, so desperately close to the 12s. Even in the rain, this is a really short lap time.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just got a message from one of the drivers asking if drivers need to use the original pit lane. I have heard that in SLR they have to. I'm not quite sure if the drivers here know that they have to do it here as well. So basically the idea is that you have to stay to the right going into the penultimate corner to actually go into the pit lane. You are not allowed to take the corner normally and then hit the brakes and enter and cross the pit line.
Yeah, perhaps we should have done a PSA about that, but yeah, you have to stick to the right once the white line comes up. Because if you just brake in the middle of the corner, you're going to cause a big accident, so...
Yeah.
Or you can just try and absolutely yeet the pit entry and probably die, which would be quite entertaining, but not very good for your race.
Yeah. Cannot recommend. I'm not saying that I have.
I would not.
I'm not saying that I have personal experience with it, but nevertheless, I do not recommend it. Kebab goes P11 with a 13.9. It's a decent effort.
Yep. Yeah, it's a bit more like it. A bit closer to the base.
Let's see. I think Justin is on a lap as well. I've not seen his delta for the first sector, but he's gonna keep going. So there might be an improvement coming up.
Yeah, Formula Chris also on a lap on a new set of tires, so be interesting to see what he can do.
Yeah,
And
Satoshi goes
12.3.
fastest at 12.6. So he improves on General Pepe's time by about 1.5 tenths. Latosi goes second.
Okay.
Just puts it in between those two. Let's see how Justin's gonna do. He's at the end of his lap now. He's been pushed down to P9. And Satoshi now goes... Justin. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Justin goes fastest now, 12.2. The track is definitely improving towards the end of qualifying. We have almost 6 minutes left. Man.
Yeah. The rain has gotten a lot lighter.
Yeah.
So the lap times definitely should come down a little bit further. Now, mind you, given the fact that it's still raining at this point, it's almost definitely not going to go to slicks, but there should still be some track evolution.
Yeah.
And Satoshi with an 11.8 improves again.
Alright. Even quicker.
We have yellow flags in Sector 2. I think that's just traffic getting out of the way.
Yeah.
Given the fact that this track is so short and the middle sector corners are so long, traffic management is actually quite important. Because you can end up getting caught behind a lot of cars. But if you can get a slipstream up to turn 2, that's very beneficial. And Jonah's on a big improvement. He's 9/10 up. So this could be a challenge for the pole. And he's crossing the line now. Yeah, that's the pole so far, 11.6. But Satoshi immediately comes back and rectifies that situation. Just a few thousand between them.
Yeah, only 16 thousandths between the two.
Yeah, so quite closely contested so far. General Pepe has gone out for another run on new tires, so let's see what he can do. He showed some impressive pace early in the session. Both surprised and not surprised to see NJJ as far down as he is, because he's actually quite a decently quick driver, but one of the things that perhaps works against him is the fact that he doesn't have force feedback.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The fact that he's a wheel user, so it's all audio-visual. So basically it's like driving F1 2019. Or iRacing.
Yeah, that sounds a bit like it, yeah. Or iRacing, yeah. So, yeah. Usually he would be at the top there, but having no force feedback is not gonna help in the rain.
Yeah. But Jonah goes fastest.
Yeah,
but
people just keep on improving on their times. We've got just over 2.5 minutes left, so expect even faster laps towards the end of qualifying. Rain is getting less.
Yeah. With the current track evolution, it's largely a question of who crosses the line last.
Yeah.
Being the last one to complete a lap is definitely going to be helpful with the track evolution as it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Even more people getting even more laps in is going to help with getting more grip on the track.
Yeah. Shout out to Wimpy on his return to SRL. Currently in P6.
Yeah, he was here last week as well in
was he?
France. Yeah, he was.
Oh, bruh.
But he didn't have a very good race. He had an incident at the start. So that
Actually, what am I saying? I'm on the FIA panel. I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah. Man's got killed.
Yeah, so it wasn't a very good start from him in France, hoping for a better one today. So far he's in P6, so that's it's a decent position for him so far.
Mind you, I don't think it was a particularly bad start from him, more so to do with the McLaren coming off the racing line and saying, "Omae wa mo shinderu."
Yes.
That generally poses a bit of an issue.
Yeah. True.
So Justin will be one of the first cars to cross the line at the end of the session. He doesn't have quite enough time for 2 laps, so it's just going to be a 1-lap dash from him. Currently in P6.
There's a Haas right behind him. I believe that's Inferno Koi. Yes, it is. He's on an outlap.
He's not going to have enough time unless we have the spectator time glitch.
We might have. I'm not sure.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not using any ERS, so either he knows that he's not gonna make it, or he knows that he has enough time and we just have the spectator glitch. But we'll see.
Really, it could be either. Justin is improving though. He's about half a second up at the second sector split. Somehow didn't get a track invalidation on that cut in the final corner.
He goes P4. And he didn't finish his qualifying yet. So he can still go. That means Inferno Koi also will have a chance to set a faster lap at the end of the session.
Yeah, currently P11. Which would be actually a pretty reasonable place to start the race if this was a dry quality, but it's not, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, Justin already said in chat that the race is going to be dry. I'm not entirely sure whether the race will be fully dry.
Well, we have no indications otherwise. So.
Yeah, I'm assuming that at least the start will be. So Taylor comes the line, goes speed 12. McLaren coming up behind, that is Latosi. Oh, and Justin has retired. I think he crashed on his fast lap.
No, it wasn't that. He just didn't improve, I don't think.
Well, his car is stationary at the start of Sector 3. And it just teleported to the pits, so... not entirely
maybe
sure.
he did crash.
Yeah, maybe he did, but... Let's see if we have any people on the lap. General Pepe is on the lap still, that was very close to invalidating.
Satoshi doesn't improve and retires instead.
General Pepe, he does improve, but stays P2.
Yeah, still a 10th behind Jonah.
Yeah, that's it for qualifying.
Yeah, pretty entertaining qualifying, it must be said. Lots of improvements from everyone throughout the session.
Yeah, there's been a lot of track evolution, so people were constantly improving and overtaking each other for provisional pole. So it was pretty entertaining qualifying, actually.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that that much yet.
The top 5 in the session, more or less who I would have made a guess at being top 5, to be honest.
Yeah, I can agree on that.
Not really any surprises. Well, maybe General Pepe, given that we don't really know a lot about him at this point.
Yeah.
But he has shown pace so far, so not a huge surprise.
Yeah.
And only covered by half a second, the top 5, which is quite close for a wet session. So, quite possibly some good competition, and game just confirming to us it is a dry race, at least.
At least to
start with. Could never be fully sure with F1 2020, but at least a good portion of the race should be dry.
Yeah.
Currently loading in. Should be a full grid of 20 cars. Larson joined late through qualifying.
Yeah.
So, full house. Good to see it. You love to see it.
Yes.
Really do.
I believe this might be the first time actually for Tier 2 that we have a full grid.
Oh.
Although I'm not entirely... Well, maybe not the first time in the existence of Tier 2, but at least this season. Although I'm not entirely sure.
Now, you can see that with the benefit of the wet qualifying. A few differences in tire strategy. Jonah has elected to start on mediums, so he'll be vulnerable to attack from General Pepe, but if he can maintain the lead or at least keep on General Pepe's gearbox for the first couple of laps. That would really play into his hands
Yeah.
deeper into the race.
Yeah, so there's quite some interesting strategy choices. About half the people choosing to start on the mediums and the other half starting on the softs.
Yep. It should be pretty straightforward, soft to medium this race. Not a particularly high tire wear track. There's a few kind of higher loading corners, but it's largely just stop and go throughout most of the lap.
Yeah.
So really, the biggest issue is just keeping the rear tires alive enough to get the drive off the corners.
Yeah, it now shows on screen a predicted pit stop strategy, which is either soft to medium or soft to hard. Well, soft to hard, I don't believe you. I don't think that we're gonna see this today.
Yeah, generally the strategy suggestions by the game tend to be quite conservative.
Yeah, the only case where we might see the hards is where someone either gets an incident at the start of the race or when we see an early safety car.
Yeah, potentially.
But then still I would expect people to maybe do another soft medium.
Yeah. Now we did see yesterday in S-Lore Tier 1, the race was wet for about half the race. Hugo managed to drag soft tires from about the halfway point to the finish.
Ooh, from
so
the halfway point to the finish.
Yeah, more or less.
Ooh.
More or less the halfway point, so definitely tire wear not a huge concern.
Yeah.
As the grid has formed, and Satoshi is disconnected.
That's not gonna help. Well.
Yeah, and his car does the funny, so.
Yeah, that's nice. So anyway, yeah, we are on the way, and Jonah gets a pretty good start, as does Justin. He's already having a look on the outside of General Pepe, and looks like he has overtaken him.
Oh, Doggo says hi.
Doggo says hi. Hi, Doggo. So a little bit of fighting further back behind between the Red Bull and the McLaren. A little bit of contact further back, I think. Satoshi has rejoined the session and has found himself way in the lead. It's a yellow flag in sector 2. Two cars have slowed down, but they're keeping on going, so nothing too major, I believe. So we have Pine in P19. I believe he was also in that small incident there. He's trying to follow Dixie for now. There's another incident up ahead. There's a Ferrari going into the pits already. That's Senix. It's another great start for him. Welcome back, Pixel.
Oh, shalom. Yeah, so Sonic's doing the funny vibe early on. XTXP as well.
Justin maybe going for an overtake on Formula Chris. He's on his inside. Hasn't got the move done. He has to go around the outside now, which he does, and he gets the move done. So he's up into P2 now.
Yeah, he managed to use the advantage of the soft tires to good effect there. That is a difficult move to pull off.
Yeah. Satoshi has moved back to P5, by the way. So that's nice of him.
Yeah, I guess he did the honourable thing and let people cycle through so as not to capitalize on the advantage the game rather stupidly given. As Eddie is around in the penultimate corner. Doesn't look to have damaged, just lost it on the curb, I guess, and gets disqualified for driving the wrong way, so that's quite unfortunate.
That's pretty quick already. That's pretty weird that he gets disqualified that fast, because he only just spun, and usually... Oh, and there's an incident going on there between General Pepe and Formula Chris, I believe.
Yeah, and Chris gets a 5-second time penalty. I didn't see what actually happened. Just the aftermath.
Yeah, it was one of the cars that clipped the back of the other. I think it was Formula Chris clipping the back of General Pepe as he went around.
Yeah, guessing by the penalty, I would say so. But what started that, I have no idea. Justin hounding Jonah though, only 4/10 back. And DRS will come into effect now, so Justin pushing on. Satoshi somehow in all of this drama is still P3.
Yeah, so he has moved up a position then, 2 positions even.
Yeah, just outside the DRS of Justin, 1.5 seconds the gap, but with Justin and Jonah fighting, that could come back down.
Yeah, Larsen has overtaken NJJ on the start-finish straight. It's up into P8. Ocean Chief already a 3-second time penalty.
Quite easy to get time penalties here, especially at the first corner. Yellow flags in sector 3.
That's Senex, I believe. I think he went around.
Yeah, he was going rather slowly. XTXP has gotten by, so presumably that's what it was. Somehow Jonah managed to hang on to the lead despite Justin having the DRS. So Jonah doing a good job. Actually has a lot more ERS than Justin as well. Fake garbage is an off in sector 2, gotten back going.
Larsen with the fastest lap, 6.4.
Yeah, Larsen not intent to hang around, but Justin is a bit closer this time. Not close enough though, he's not using overtake.
Yeah,
I think Justin just wants to sit in the DRS.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go for it here. Yeah, he's using overtaker right now. I think Jonah is using battery as well and he's defending.
Well, what Justin is doing here would make sense if he was getting a good run out of
and he's using overtake here to get alongside.
Yeah. But not getting a good run out of turn 2 is really kneecapping him, and he's having to use a lot of resources to try and get past, and even then it's not enough. Jonah too quick. So really his best shot is just to go for it in turn 2.
Turn 3 you mean?
Turn 2.
Oh.
Because he's trying to hang back so he can get the DRS down to turn 3 and defend from that, but then he's not getting the run out of turn 2 to make that possible. And then he's having to burn all his battery and still not getting close enough to do it.
Yeah, he's using a lot of battery here as well again.
This is maybe his best opportunity, but he's already out of battery, so he can't.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have to hang back for a while and recharge his battery unless Jonah makes a mistake. Because he is on a soft tire, so he should be able to overtake him. But the window of opportunity is going to be closing. There's already 5 laps gone. And those softs are not going to last forever, of course.
Yeah, so really he'd be best served not to use his battery until he wants to go for the attack, because he has the tire grip to stay with Jonah. At least for now. But that advantage will fade soon enough. And meanwhile, Satoshi is catching the back of him. And Jonah is getting a really good run off turn 1 as well, which is definitely helping him in his defense of this lead. The choo-choo train for P1 is starting to form. 3 cars at the moment, Latosi catching up though, nearly in the DRS.
Yeah, there's a car off at the back. It's Pine in P16, he spun after turn 1.
Yeah, easy just to get a bit greedy on the curve and try and get car down, just loop it around like that.
Yeah, that can happen quite quickly. It's a pretty difficult corner to do, turn 3 as well, all the way at the top of the hill. It's a really tough traction zone. So unless you're using some traction control, it's going to be pretty tough to get a good run out of there.
But really the trick to turn 3 is just a short shift to 3rd or 4th right on the apex. So Justin is really close this time, probably the closest he's been.
Yeah,
On the
he's using a lot of
bottom.
energy again, but he's already out of battery.
Yeah, this will be a late stand if he goes for it. He thought about it, but not really close enough, and he's compromised himself coming off the corner now.
Yeah, Satoshi doesn't get a good run out of turn 3 though. He does get the DRS, so he's sticking with the 2 cars at the front.
Yeah. All the time John is in the lead, this plays so well into his hands on the sore tire, keeping the guys on softs at bay. It's
Yeah,
a
that's
huge help to his strategy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help him towards the end of the race. Because the longer he can keep the soft runners behind him, the more it's going to play into his hands. Those people on the soft tires are eventually going to have to pit at around lap 14, I believe. 14 or 15.
Probably around that, I would guess. Maybe a touch later. Justin again gets close, but just not enough. He's not giving himself enough of a chance. Jonah, in fairness, defending very robustly.
Yeah, Jonah's doing very well defending this.
Bit of a lockup though, but he's still got enough of an apex to get away with it. Satoshi is really close on the back of these two as well now, and has far more battery than either of them. So he might decide to mount a charge.
He can also go for an overtake on Justin though, because Justin is constantly running very low on ERS.
Yeah, the difficulty for Satoshi though is that he's the 3rd car in the DRS train.
Yeah.
Oh, and gets very sideways on the curve there. That's awesome, a lot of time. Latosi far enough back and not in DRS that he'll get away with it. But mistakes like that are not ideal.
Yeah.
Larson has had an
coming
issue and
around.
is facing backwards.
Yeah,
Quite
so
a
that's,
shame, he had a good start.
Yeah, so that's all the good work gone. I believe he's still standing there. No, he's gonna keep going again, as far as I can see on the track map.
Yeah, he had been up to P8 from last on the grid, which is quite incredible, but all that hard work largely undone now. And Justin picks up 3 seconds. Pushed it a little bit too hard in the middle sector, and got punished for it. So that's an additional amount of time he's going to have to try and catch up. It's still Jonah leading as we come on to lap 11. Hasn't ever really looked like he's struggling to cope with the pressure. Just running his own lines, not really having to defend too hard from Justin. Just some tactical deployment of battery, and that's been pretty much it, really.
Yeah, defending can be pretty easy if you do it well. If you get good runs out of the corners onto the DRS straights, and then you just have to use some deployment on those straights. And if you just don't use any ERS for the rest of the lap, then it shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, well, at least in theory. Practice is another thing, but Jonah is executing the theory pretty well, to be fair. Latosi is hanging around just at the back of this train, not really getting too involved, but he's there. Interesting to see Jonah's line through a turn. He's not really attacking the curb, he's just touching the red part of it, but not really aggressively mounting it, trying to find every last tenth. It's very easy if you attack that curve too much to overdo it and pick up warnings and penalties. So playing it safe, but he's still getting the run out, and that's what matters. Pine retires.
Oh, I'm gonna guess that he spun after
After turn 1 by the
turn
look of
1.
things.
Yeah, he probably hit the wall then, because his car is stationary.
Yeah, that would be my guess. XTXP about to come up to him, we'll see now. Car has disappeared, so I guess we won't.
Alright then, keep your secrets.
Jonah growing the gap slightly from 4/10 to about 6. Justin very hot into turn 1.
Yeah, but it's not really getting him a good run onto the straight.
I think Justin is maybe just trying a little bit too hard, really, to be honest.
Yeah, it might be, but
I think it would
obviously
be in
he
his...
wants to overtake, because he kinda
Yeah.
has to if he wants to make this soft to medium strategy work, opposing to the inverted strategy that Jonah is running.
Yeah, but really, he would be best served to save his tires, save up a bit of ERS and mount a full-scale attack, rather than these miniature assaults every lap. Because they're not getting him anywhere.
Satoshi is pitting, by the way.
Yeah.
That's quite early, so he might be going for a 2-stop strategy.
No,
Unless he
definitely
goes to the
not.
hards.
No, you can make mediums last from here. It's quite doable.
Oh, really?
Satoshi electing to try and get the undercut on Justin, so Justin is going to have to respond to this.
Yes, we
He
can.
doesn't really have a
expect-
choice.
Yeah, we can expect Justin to go in this lap, but I would not be surprised if he keeps going for another lap.
Yeah, Satoshi has come out amongst cars, but he's quickly dispatched the Chief, so it's really not cost him any time when he has a couple of seconds of clear track ahead of him. So Justin needs to respond now, or risk losing it.
Yeah, Formula Chris and Wimpy are fighting it out for P4. It looks like Formula Chris has won it.
Yeah, around the outside, nice move.
Yeah, on the medium tires opposing to Wimpy's soft tires, so the softs are really starting to slow down now.
That's their best by date is the gap to Justin is 9/10 now. Justin electing to stay out. So he's going to be very vulnerable to the undercut from Satoshi. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if Satoshi inherits the lead after the pit stop cycle through. Of course, Jonah should be pretty quick and be able to mount a counter-attack, but certainly you would expect Satoshi would jump Justin in all of this.
Yeah, it seems like Latosi has fallen out of Justin's DRS now that Satoshi is not there anymore.
Yep. So, will Justin fit this lap? Every lap he likes to stay out is a lap against him.
I believe there's some fighting going on in the back. Alec B is overtaking Fake Garbage for P14 now. He's gonna get a good run on Kebab. And he overtakes him as well, so he goes to P13 straight away.
Yeah. Justin in the pits now.
As we expected.
Yeah.
Goes onto the
Satoshi.
medium tires.
Satoshi coming through the last two corners now.
So let's see where this is going to bring him. I think
Yeah.
Satoshi is going to overtake him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it. By an actually pretty decent margin in the end, over a second. So Justin is outside Satoshi's DRS. Yellow's in sector 3.
That's XTXP. He has spun it around, but he's continuing.
So the question is now, how far into the race do Jonah and Formula Chris go? I guess probably around lap 20, lap 21. So not too much further.
Yeah, probably not. At the moment, everyone except Sanix is on the medium tires.
Yep, Sanix having early dramas, which explains the hard tires. Yep. Justin is going for the move on Satoshi now, though, and he gets it done.
Yeah, before turn 3 even.
Yeah.
Satoshi is gonna get DRS on the straight though, so if he gets a good run, then he might be able to attack back, but he chooses not to.
Of course, if these two are battling, that's just further in the favor of Jonah again.
Yeah, it's only gonna cost him. But Justin is back in the net P2 at the moment. Although he is encountering some people on an inverted strategy.
Yeah, this battle currently about 17 seconds behind Jonah. So, I don't think that's quite a pit stop, so they will probably emerge ahead of Jonah after the pit cycle, but Jonah will be much quicker. Justin with the fastest lap, 6.0.
Even with overtaking Satoshi.
Yeah.
Now he goes an overtake, and JJ.
Yeah, NGJ got turn on all sorts of wrong.
Yeah, Satoshi going through as well. Oh no!
Kind of forced his way into that. That was quite surprising,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he gives the position back to Justin, but he might also lose it out to NJJ now.
Yeah, NGJ would be wiser not to fight this really, because Justin and Satoshi are going to find a way past Dixie. That's where NGJ's battle is, really. Jonah picks up 3 seconds, so now that's neutral between himself and Justin. Not sure if Satoshi has a penalty.
I don't remember him getting one. Justin is passing his teammate for today.
Satoshi actually has no warnings, but he did disconnect as the race was starting, so he might have the no warning switch.
Might be. I don't know if that's still a thing in 2020.
It definitely is.
Okay, so that's a thing to look out for after. Perhaps. We'll see.
Yeah, interesting to see Satoshi's approach to turn 2. Very attacking. He goes down to first gear.
First gear?
On the apex, yeah. And gets on the power on first gear as well, which is quite aggressive as a means of negotiating that corner. And can see it does appear to cost him a bit on his runs out to the corners. Commonly getting wheel spin. So now Justin's starting to make inroads on Jonah. Gap is down to about 16.5 seconds. So I'd say Jonah, probably the next 2 laps. Sometime around then he'll pit.
Yes, and there's not too many laps to go until Jonah is gonna come into the pits as well. I'm gonna have a look at the intervals right now. The gap to Justin is 16 seconds.
Yeah, Justin's starting to make some very solid inroads, so Jonah would be wise to pit probably this lap, I would say. 15 laps on the softs, quite doable. That's about what Justin did on his soft stint. NGJ pits from P5.
Yes, that would be a reasonable point to go into the pits. So Jonah might do it right now that Justin is closing the gap.
Yeah, gap down to 15.5 seconds. Not entirely sure what the pit delta is.
I believe it's around 17 or 18 seconds, maybe 20.
Probably
sure.
somewhere on the order of 19 to 20 seconds, I would guess.
Okay, so let's have a look. I believe Jonah is going in. Yes, he is. He's gonna go into the pits.
Yeah, so we'll see exactly where he emerges. Crucially, he'll want to try and get out ahead of Latosi at the very least.
Yeah, that would be
What
ideal.
he should do, I imagine. So there's Justin coming through and now Satoshi.
Yes,
so
he did
we got
lose
to be a
out those
couple
two
of seconds.
positions. Yeah, and he lost a bit of time as well. He doesn't have DRS on the two.
Yeah, 3.5 seconds the gap, give or take. But on much newer, softer tires. So
Yeah.
he should have a pretty sizable pace advantage for at least the first part of the stint.
Yeah, absolutely. At least Latosi doesn't have DRS on him as well, so he won't feel any pressure from behind. At
Yeah,
least
so
he shouldn't.
Yeah, so the pit delta in the end, roughly around the 18.5, 19 second margin. It's good to know, heading into Tier 1. Jonah is setting a purple second sector there, as would be expected, and already caught Satoshi by 7/10. Make that about a second. And XTXP has retired.
Yeah, I believe that was in the pits. So his car's gonna stay there.
Yep, that was in the pit lane.
Okay, so should oppose no threat to the other drivers. Meanwhile, Formula Chris overtakes Alex B for P7.
Yeah, so Chris will be on a bit of a charge of his own. Just behind Wimpy by about a second, and then a few seconds further up the road is General Pepe.
Yeah, Formula Chris already has DRS on Wimpy, so he might be fighting with him very soon. He's on fresh soft tires.
Yeah, on for a potential P5 here by the looks of things at the moment. Yeah, Jonah.
Yeah, he's already closed down the gap.
Yeah.
Down to a second. He's not gonna have DRS here just yet, but he will have it after the next corner. That's the fastest lap of the race. It's 5.4.
Quite a quick fastest lap actually. And yeah, got the DRS on Satoshi. Satoshi got a bit of a run on Justin, not really enough to make anything of it.
Formula Chris has already overtaken Wimpy, by the way.
Yeah, huge difference in the pace of these fresh soft tires versus the old mediums. Setting about General Pepe already, Chris.
Oh, it's Satoshi having a look on the inside of Justin, but nearly
got it all
getting it
sorted wrong.
Now Jonah is going to be right on his gearbox. So this is going to make for an entertaining battle.
Yeah, the sooner Jonah can make this work on Satoshi, the better. So being the third car in the train is not a good place to be when DRS is active. It's getting a very good drive off the final corner. Now very close to Satoshi.
Yeah, brakes very late into turn 1.
Yeah, and has the drive on Satoshi actually on the button, he's going for it.
Yeah.
Trying to get it too.
Yeah, it looks like he gets the move done. Yeah, he does.
Justin with a very peculiar line into turn 2. It doesn't really want to take the apex too much. There are a couple of bumps there, so
Yeah, Justin barely has any ERS, and Jonah is about halfway. So I don't think Justin is going to last very long in this battle. You can already
really
see that
quite-
Jonah's pressuring him really hard.
Yeah, this is really quite clinical from Jonah.
Yeah, he's
Not
driving
really
a
having to
very
make
good
too
race.
much work of it. And you can see how much of a grip advantage he has into the corners, and he's going to go for it in turn 1 actually.
Yeah. And he gets the move done. Justin is looking to overtake him back, but he's out of ERS. He does have DRS though. He's gonna have to go around the outside.
Jonah throws it up the inside, gets it done pretty easily, but now Satoshi is going to attack Justin, or will he? He has the DRS, so he might make a lunge at this.
Yeah, he might, and he
It
goes to the
pretty
inside.
extreme inside.
And
Oh,
he
loses
loses
it.
traction. He nearly hits the wall. He didn't get any damage, but he did lose a lot of time. He's out of DRS range now.
Yeah, I
That's
do think there was a
definitely
bit of a
gonna
touch
cost
there.
But the most important part, Jonah is now leading the race on these soft tires, so he's probably going to increase the gap.
And just
yeah,
about
it
to,
already
and
is.
he has broken DRS already.
Yeah, so that's very well done from Jonah.
Yeah, good stuff. I think Wimpy has had an issue because he finds himself now down in P10. He was in P6, I believe, not too long ago.
Yeah, he was.
And Sanic's showing you just how much no practice gets you in Tier 2.
Yeah. that's a good
Another
example.
spin. Yep. I don't believe he's been lapped this time. So, a solid improvement. Or has he?
Yes,
he actually
has.
has. Never
Yeah,
mind.
He has.
Yep, he has. But only once.
Only
It's an
once.
improvement. It is an improvement.
So he is practicing the no practice strategy. Is
yes.
it even a no practice strategy then? I am not sure. Anyway, let's have a look at this gap. Yeah, the gap between Justin and Jonah is 1.7 seconds now. And it looks like it is growing bigger ever so slightly. Justin being very low on ERS, and Jonah still has a buffer. So this gap is probably only going to get bigger.
Yeah. So now the task for Jonah is, while he still has the tire advantage for the next 2 or 3 laps, just to keep pushing and opening that gap up as much as possible.
Yeah, I believe Formula Chris might be going for an overtake on General Pepe for P5.
Yeah,
Has
he's
a
having
look
a
on
look.
the inside.
General Pepe,
Yeah.
very compliant, left him all the room in the world there.
Yeah, most importantly, Formula Chris gets the job done. Up into P5 now.
Yeah. Some smart driving by General Pepe there, really, with Chris's pace advantage having caught 4.5 seconds in a matter of laps. Not really his fight. Now the question, of course, is, can Formula Chris catch Latosi? It's a big gap. So,
yeah, the gap is 3.7
it's,
seconds.
it will be a tall order if he can, but he's gained about 3/10, 4/10 actually in turn 1.
Yeah.
So he's not wasting time.
Absolutely not, and he's gaining even more here.
Yeah. Speaking of gaining, the gap between Jonah and Justin now up to 3 seconds.
Oh, that went pretty fast. I'm gonna guess that Justin made a mistake, perhaps.
2 Red Bulls fighting. Chief on Wimpy with the softer tires. Pretty easy move in the end. And Jonah setting another 5.4, marginally quicker than his 5.4 from earlier. So still some good pace in that softer tire. I think he burned his battery to do that. He's now down to 6%.
Yeah, he definitely burned his battery for that.
But
He's burning even more.
yeah,
Very slightly, but still.
grows the gap another second for his troubles though. Now about 3.9-ish. Yeah, I don't think it's much contest today, barring any calamities for driver of the day.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not sure about people gaining a lot of positions in a race. And JJ has gained 7 positions and Alec B has gained 8 positions. Matosi in P4 has gained 5 positions as well. So, pretty good race from those guys, but definitely Jonah is really standing out so far.
Yeah, it's been a pretty peerless drive from him to control the race, as well as he has effectively not once give up the lead.
Sanix has been disqualified for too many penalties, I believe.
So, no joy today for Sanix.
Yeah, not really. So, he was doing well, only getting lapped once so far, but on Austria the time penalties will be like, no. Not gonna happen.
Maybe his strategy was to try and get lapped so he had less laps in which to pick up penalties. It didn't work.
Yeah, unfortunately didn't.
Unlucky did.
Strategy kinda makes sense, because you get one less lap you have to drive, but didn't work out at the end.
Formula Chris, I said I wondered could he catch Latosi. He has. He's now in DRS.
Yeah, General Pepe has already is also still in Formula Chris's DRS, so he has caught up with him pretty well so far.
Yeah, General Pepe has done a good job to hang on to the DRS of Formula Chris despite how quickly Chris caught up to him. Now Chris probably going to go for it down the inside. Is he? Yeah, thought about it, but
He was having a look. Didn't work out in the end.
Yeah, Latosi ran in deep. Kept the position, but really this is not.
A little bit ambitious to have a look on the inside there.
Yeah, he was asking could his nose chop there.
And it's exactly at this moment that my CPU decides to vibe again.
Epic.
Nice.
Just thinking about it here, I don't really understand why people try to go for moves in turn 1, because you just give it back in turn 2. Although Latosi has had an awful run through that corner, so probably not. And General Pepe got that P5 from him, by the looks of things.
Looks like Latosi is sending it deep though.
Yeah, late on the brakes, got it done.
So far.
And gets the DRS of Formula Chris as well, so manages to hold off on that. And the gap between Jonah and Justin now 5 seconds. Satoshi has followed well off the back of Justin, 5 seconds between them as well. And almost another 5 between Chris and Satoshi, as Latosi has had an issue and Jerome Pepe got past him quite easily in the end. Quite a nice move actually, must be said.
Latosi is looking to fight back to General Pepe though. gets very close there.
Yeah, making a go of it. NJJ and Dixie battling. Dixie with the DRS down the straight to turn 2. And NJJ is struggling. As Justin picks up another 3 seconds. So I believe the gap to Satoshi is enough that it doesn't make a difference. So yeah, just 2 penalties and gap over 6 seconds. Jordan Pepe picking up 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's not gonna help him with the P5 that he is in at the moment. So
Yep,
depending on the penalty situation on other drivers, he might lose the position.
Ooh, I'm gonna guess he will. He has 12 seconds, or does he has 6?
Yeah, then he is at least going to lose out P6.
So it's basically a guaranteed P5 at this point for Mitsozi. Dixie 8.8 seconds behind him, so well beyond that 6 seconds.
Wimpy and Tilda are fighting.
Yeah, having a bit of fun. Tilda around the outside. Gets it done just before the braking zone. Wimpy tried to run it in, but not enough on those old mediums. Coming back at him though.
Yeah, was having a look on the inside, but didn't manage to do it.
Yeah. And Jonah on the last lap now with a gap of 5.9 seconds to Justin.
Dixie goes into the pits. Okay.
Mate, it's a lot too
Maybe
late
he
to
had a
do the
puncture.
fastest lap. If that's
Maybe
what
he
you're
had a
thinking.
puncture, I'm not sure. Yeah, so Jonah is leading this race quite comfortably. Gap of 6 seconds still. He is about to end his race.
Yeah, pretty fearless drive in the end. Very consistent, hardly any mistakes. Really good first stint, really. That was the critical thing in the end. Gets the win as fair reward.
Yeah, Justin takes P2.
9 seconds back on corrected time with penalties. Satoshi gets jumped by from the Chris actually, so I guess Satoshi did get penalties in the end.
Yeah. General Pepe got
Well, actually he
jumped by
didn't.
Litosi
So
as well, and JJ is gonna finish P7. Ocean Chief is gonna bring it home in P8.
not sure
P9
how.
actually.
Not sure how Chris has jumped Satoshi because on the race director, Satoshi doesn't have any warnings. Now I expect that he had the no warning glitch, but still, that seems kind of strange. Yeah, good race today.
Yeah, it was an entertaining race.
Yeah, couple of good drives. Not as much carnage as I expected. Jonah though, really good drive today. The easy driver of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd have to say for me as well. Although F1 game disagrees and gives it to Alec B. But we don't follow the rules of F1.
Lee Mather has rigged it from the start.
Yes.
So Formula Chris actually got no penalties.
No penalties. That's
Allegedly,
very good job.
Satoshi did as well, but I think he had the no warnings glitch, and the game bugged out his finish time, so we don't know truthfully where exactly Satoshi finished. So that remains to be seen. That will have to be reviewed by the FIA.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be reviewed. I'm gonna expect Satoshi to keep his third position. Although
possible that we may end up reviewing his race for time penalties,
yeah.
or perhaps just apply a blanket penalty. That remains to be seen. It'll need to be discussed by the FIA.
Yeah.
But what we know for certain, Jonah P1 with the fastest lap, Justin P2, and Formula Chris got no penalties.
Yeah. A very good job.
Yep,
I mean, it's pretty difficult to do on this track.
it is. And Ocean Chief in his form position, P10.
Yeah.
He's the keeper of the P10s after all. So
Yeah. It's a little bit of a customary at this point. I mean, it always has been. It has been for a long time.
yeah, really, there would be something wrong if Chief wasn't P10.
Yeah.
So good drive by him. Good drive by lots of drivers in the field, really. Drives. So, quite entertaining. But now it is time
For the interviews.
So, a couple of drivers in general chat 4 looking for interviews. I'll drag in Jonah first.
Alright, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, this is
Hello.
Emma, yes.
Hello, not Popo.
Yes.
Quite good. You made it look easy. Was it?
No, not really. I was surprised that so many people started on the softs instead of the mediums after free choice. And I just basically after like lap 2 or 3, I just tried to keep Justin behind, not letting him by. Yeah, that worked, but it was hard work. But yeah, after that I knew I had it in the bag as long as I don't make stupid mistakes or yeah, and it worked out.
Yeah. Won by 9 seconds after penalties, so pretty comfortable in the end for the victory. So very well done.
Thank you.
Any thoughts on the next round at Silverstone?
I will try to get a good result there again, and we'll see what happens.
Solid vibe. Solid vibe. Of course, you got the fastest lap as well, so it's the full complement of 26 points.
Yes, quite good for the championship.
Yeah, it does definitely help. I believe with that, you gain, I want to say 8 points.
I wouldn't know because we don't have standings in TSL, you know.
Well, I mean, we do. They're just not. They're just not indeed. So I don't actually know what the situation with the standings are, but
I
it's
think
not a big gap anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're ahead.
It's a long season to go, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. With the momentum and a good position, so keep up the good work.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Yeah, so best of luck next week.
Yeah. See ya.
Alright, see you. Alright, so we'll drag in Justin next.
Go ahead.
Hello.
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 So P2 in the end. Happy, disappointed? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I did the best I could considering I was on mediums towards the end. I obviously couldn't do much when it comes to Jonah, who's on fresh softs. So, I mean, P2 I'm happy with, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah. Is there any particular reason you think you struggled to try and get by him on the first stint, or was it just a question of not having the pace?
I feel like I had the pace, but I mean, towards the start, since it's fresh tires for everyone, we were similar pace. I mean, for the first 5 laps, I was catching up to Jonah quite significantly, hence I was right behind him for a few laps. And then obviously, he overtake button and then DRS overtake button for me as well. All he had to do was defend until my tires were dead. And then eventually when it came to me going on the memes and hitting on the softs, he had a stronger tire advantage because he boxed like 7-8 laps after me. And, well, you know, all he had to do was just go in front and run away, I guess. But yeah.
We saw some interesting moves between yourself and Satoshi. Was there any contact at any point, or was it just hard and fair racing?
I felt like it was just like a racing incident because I was hugging the inside line, and then he went like grass inside line. So I don't know what was that. Happened twice. I feel like it just happens. I don't think there was any damage done from it, so I wouldn't really call it harsh or
Yeah.
anything. It just wrong
Yeah,
place,
that's
wrong
fair.
time.
So how do you feel about the next round in Silverstone?
Well, I mean, every time I say I'm good at the track and I end up not winning, so I won't say anything this week, and I'll just say we'll see what happens.
Let's not jinx it this time.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens, I guess.
All right. Well, best of luck with Silverstone anyway. Like your pace is generally towards the front, so I'm sure, barring any major issues, you should be in the hunt for it. So best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. So who next?
Let's go with Satoshi.
You.
Hello.
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 So can I ask you, do you have any idea where you finished?
I finished third on track.
Yeah. Yeah.
On paper, I finished third on track. That's what I know.
Yeah, because I saw the game was vibing with the times at the end, but you don't.
Yeah, and I was like, what? And then I already had that the disconnect bug, so I had 0 warnings during the race. So yeah, I was like, okay, not like this.
Yeah. If you had to guess though, do you have any idea if you got any penalties realistically, any warnings?
I got 0 warnings from the game, but ideally I would have get like 20 seconds of penalties. If I get any warnings, I think I try to like respect the track limits as much as I can, but yeah, I try to not abuse it constantly because of this.
Yeah, I suppose there is also the subconscious element of if you don't have the warnings popping up, you're inclined to pay less attention to it, and you maybe.
I tried, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so quali I was really surprised my pace about quali. I had like a little bit of more time in that lap on the race. When I got back, I had like a 3-second lead, but I instantly slowed down to the exit of the last corner and yielded back to like 5th or 6th, and I tried to go up like that as much as I can. And yeah, I enjoyed the battle with Justin and Jonah. I know I was like kind of an aggressive, I think, but yeah, I finished P3 on track, but Cody says no, and I really don't know where I'm going to finish, but it doesn't really matter. And I would have been not surprised if I would get like a 20-second penalty because of the track limit warnings. So yeah, I already put my POV to the incident reports just in case. But yeah, it doesn't really matter because this was my last race. So yeah.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, but nevertheless, I really enjoyed this race despite this bugs. But yeah, that was the max that I could have achieved. So yeah, I basically died when I got out of the DRS, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, thanks guys, and good luck in the future. For good luck for everyone for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Best of luck to you too.
Yeah, cheers guys, bye bye.
Yeah, cheers, bud.
Alright, take your pick.
I'll go with Chris, because he's maybe a podium sitter after this race. Probably, to be honest. Hello.
Oh, hello guys.
Hello.
So fun race for you. On the alternate strategy, got to do some overtaking. Maybe podium as well. So how do you feel about that?
Could have been much better because I lost over 10 seconds on one incident overall, but I'm quite disappointed that it's P3 because I felt like I have the pace over Justin, so I could get him, and I had no penalties, so maybe even P1 if I kept up with Jonah. But yeah, 10 seconds lost because of a crash, like lost 5 seconds on a crash and 5 seconds into the pits because of a penalty.
Yeah. Well, obviously quite unfortunate in that respect, but to finish quite probable P3, in spite of that, is a very good recovery. So you can be proud of that one.
Yes, but not really proud. I always will have this disappointment at the back of my head, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Looking forward to next week. Is Silverstone a strong track for you, or?
Wait, where are we racing next week?
Silverstone, Britain.
I really like that track on F1 2019, but this game feels like it's kind of weird on the S's. I just can't go with this without losing my rear end. So yeah, I don't know how it's gonna be, but I hope good.
Yeah. Well, best of luck with it anyway, and we'll see what you can do next week.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts?
Nah, not really.
All right.
So I guess.
Yeah. Well, see you next week then.
All right. I think that was everyone.
Yeah, I think that'd be that.
Yeah. So yeah, it was an interesting race today. Jonah absolutely commanding it on the second stint.
Yeah, that was really incredible pace. Chris had some great pace as well. It's a shame of that incident for him. So
Yeah.
rip.
All right. So we're gonna end the stream here. So we would be happy to welcome you back with us in 40 minutes, where Ocean Chief and Icewind will be commentating to Sorel Tier 1. And tomorrow we will be back to Israel ACC, and Tuesday we will have the Silverstone race in Tier 3 already.
Yeah, so action-packed next couple of days. Tune in 40 minutes to see myself and Hybrid battle for not last.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go.
All right.